Now, when I learned this move here to start the downswing, I couldn't believe at how easy compressing the golf ball, like you see all the top pros, became. And what this move ultimately does, it blends the weight shift or pressure shift and rotation in the downswing really smoothly. So a lot of players don't compress the golf ball because of their concept of what happens in the downswing. A lot of golfers believe you should bump and then turn. So watch what's going to happen here. A-tine, I'm going to bump, then turn. Now for me, normal A-tine is around 155 yards, nice control one. So let's bump and turn. Like a nasty one out the toe there. So not the best one, I mean, just because I hit it so poorly, 110 yards. Let me do another one there. See if we can get a little bit more middle. Bump and then turn. So a little bit better. Again, slightly bottom on the face, 136, a little bit better a distance there. So also went pretty high, but as you can see, not the best way to do it as a shot outcome, because when we bump then turn, what ends up happening, the bump immediately gets the upper body tilting away from the target, and then we generally can't turn from there. It's really hard for the body to turn once we've bumped and moved back because we've lost our tilt in the swing. So that's where club path is going to get dumped under, and we need to be able to create shaft lean. We need to rotate, because of course shaft lean, what does that do? That is what compresses the golf ball for us. Lowers that loft, squeezes that ball, creates a compression. If I can't turn because I've bumped my hips early, it's not going to be very good. So that's where we need to blend the shift and the turn together, because if we can do that, we can get that rotation unwinding really nice and smoothly in that downswing. It'll be uninhibited. And that, as we know, rotation and weight shift naturally creates shaft lean. We're not trying to do it manually. It's happening because of what the body's doing. If we start that downswing correctly, I can show you exactly how to do this, a good drill to do, and a great feel for the golf course, we're going to make compression so much easier. Now, it might not make you hit the ball absolutely perfect every time, nothing in golf will, but it's absolutely going to up your odds massively. So let's talk about how to do this to start the downswing, to compress it every time. So what we need to do, we need to keep our tilt. So our tilt in the downswing. So as soon as we start that downswing, we don't want to bump, we want to bump down. So get that lead side of the body going down as we're turning. So we really want that lead side of the hip. As soon as it goes down, watch the club here, which is representing my angle of my hips. Right side, left side. So you can clearly see left side's lower, but as soon as I'm starting that downswing, it's going low and it's turning and unwinding. As soon as I do that, the upper body stays more on top of the middle of my lower body. So that's going to really keep you nicely in a good spot to where you can deliver good angles. Again, if I'm back here, I can't force shaft lean to happen. But if I'm bumped down, getting the hips to turn, the upper body is going to stay more on top. The upper body as well, the chest is going to unwind along with that. It's going to create shaft lean. Such a huge, huge misconception. I see this in my YouTube comments all the time, is people thinking that even I teach, trying to physically manipulate the angle, shoving the hands forward. It's not it. It is, that happens as a byproduct of shifting and turning, keeping that nice tilt as we start that downswing. We need that left side to stay down to be able to get this move and get those two, shifting and rotation, blending together. Happens at the same time. Throwing a ball, happening at the same time. We're shifting, boom. But as soon as we're planting that foot, we're unwinding and turning. Of course, we don't unweight that foot and plant it back down in golf. Maybe it would be easier if we started off learning that way. There's an argument for that, but we need to do that movement whilst we're grounded. So here we go. We're really wanting to get that left side down and turning, keeps the rotation going, keeps you shifting at the same time, naturally creates compression. So you don't have to manually try to manipulate it every time. Now we're going to get to a drill. Now there's actually two drills I want to show you here, and then after that I'll show you a great feel for the golf course. So both of these I have done a ton in my own game, because I really couldn't believe it. As soon as I started doing this, it became so much easier to compress the golf ball. Because for me, getting into that left side, which is what so many amateur golfers struggle to do, I thought, was almost an impossibility because I've got cerebral palsy, which affects my left side, which means it's half the strength, just about, maybe a little bit less than that, of my right side, and the mobility even worse so. That's where I just wasn't swinging correctly, to be perfectly honest, to get the weight into the left side. I wasn't prioritizing my tilt going down and around. So here we go. Grab an alignment stick, something I've talked about a ton on the channel. Is absolutely good old stick drill. A lot of it comes out on the left, tiny bit on the right. And then what we want to do, we want the stick to go down and around immediately. That's how we start the downswing. Down and around. It's going to create that compression so much easier. So here we go. Down and around. Really good one. Keeps the tilt of everything nicely. So start off nice and soft, which I'm going to do first. So even though it felt nice and soft, that down and around motion, but it still went a very respectable distance. And that's where even a lot of you have noticed on my previous videos as well, whenever I might be talking about swinging soft or slow, you'll notice it still looks fairly quick. That's because I've got the correct sequencing in my swing. So that's why when we got the correct sequencing, it generally will look a little bit faster. But for me anyway, I have quite a quick rhythm. So down and around, look at that stick going down and disappearing. As soon as we start that downswing, don't ultimately have to worry about anything else in regards to there. Down and around, let's give another one a go. So a really nice soft one. Felt like I left that one out there a little bit. Yep, did, but it's still drawing round nicely onto target there. And once we get more comfortable with this, we can absolutely give it a little bit more. And when we give a swing a little bit more, we give it through the golf ball, not at the start. You hear me talk all the time online about starting that downswing nice, slow and smooth, or what feels like that anyway. It might not actually look it, but that's what you're feeling because it gives you a better chance to do this. So nice and smooth, starting that downswing down the round with a stick. If you want to give it a little bit more, speed it up through or post impact. What we did there, absolutely pretty much normal distance there. Club path improved, face angle looked pretty good. That's going to be on the green pretty much every time. And we can see with those grouping of balls there, those are the two bad ones that I demonstrated. And they're the ones where I'm starting down and around to start the downswing. They're all on the green. All of those have a chance for birdie. So, okay, drill number 2. Now, this is one that I really do struggle with quite a little bit. Now, why I struggle with that, again, it's because of my cerebral palsy. I find it hard to plant down because, you know, I gave you that analogy, throwing a ball. Boom. We're doing that with a golf ball. So what we're doing here, we set up to a golf ball. And as soon as we want to start to take the club away, even before that, we take the left foot, bring it over to the right, bring the club so now it's out the middle of our feet. And then what we do, we step forward straight away. So as soon as we take that club forward, we step forward. That starts that downward sequencing, but does it really early ultimately. So we're exaggerating it. We have to exaggerate if we want to make a change in the swing. But it's a really good one to get in there. So some players will absolutely rip it when they do that. Other players might actually struggle quite a lot. Both are absolutely fine. So don't get discouraged if a drill, you can't master it straight away. It just shows you've really got to work on it. So for me, I most likely won't rip it straight away because it's a really hard one for me. Step over, as soon as I take the club back, step forward. How's that? Ultimately, not bad at all. Actually, my club path got as close to neutral as it has been. That's where I want to be. For me at the moment, I'm trying to get my club path a little bit more neutral through impact. So that's a lot of why sometimes I might struggle with it because I'll do my old move. Be a little bit back here. So again, really important. So another one, bring the foot over. As soon as I take that club back, step forward. Oh, that felt good. Going to be another interesting one to see. Again, club path pretty good. It's right in that little circle. Every ball's almost landing on top of each other. You could put a blanket out on top of those balls. So let's get to the feel for the golf course. Now, the feel I've found to be the most successful from transferring range to the golf course with this is actually more to do with the upper body. I personally find it really difficult to focus on that left side of the pelvis as we turn, so getting an angle to go down and around. So some people absolutely fine with that. Just me, I like to drill it to get it into the subconscious, which is actually how we're going to properly get it onto the golf course. As we know, the repetitions. A lot of golfers ask, how do I get certain movement into the golf swing on the golf course? The answer is practice more, is ultimately it. If it's not there, got to practice more. But there are feels that can help us. So like we said, when we lose our tilt, what happens? So left side goes up, upper body falls back, then we can't compress it from there. But where is my upper body in relationship to my lower body here? Middle of the chest is on the right leg. game. So that's not going to be what we want. What we want, ultimately, the chest to be on the belt buckle, but we might have to exaggerate it more than that. So what I like to feel on the golf course is having the chest be on top of the left leg as we're turning. This is quite often what a lot of players will try to feel out on tour when they're trying to hit kind of like a punch fade. They'll feel like they're staying on top of that left leg as they're turning. Now, when they're hitting that punch fade, they're staying in their tilt really well and turning a lot. So for golfers like myself in the past who have really struggled with compression, that kind of punch fade feel is a really, really good one to implement. And how we do that, chest on top of the left leg in the downswing as we're turning. And that's a really good one to get on the golf course. I always find the closer to your head, you know, the body movement we're trying to work on, let's say it's easier to do that on the golf course because it's not too much of a distance the signals have got to travel. So that's why I find it easier to think of upper body feels on the course rather than lower body feels. So here we go. Chest on top of the left leg. How's that? Again, pretty good. Felt like maybe slightly tugged it left. Is it on the green still? It is. It is still there. So still very, very workable. Great feel for the golf course, but we know where the gain's mostly going to be made here, on the driving range. So absolutely, the amount of practice we need to do in this sport to make even the smallest changes, a lot. So this feel will help you though, but it's not going to be your saving grace. Absolutely, the practice will. Chest on top of the left leg. Let's try and feel like if we can squeeze one as well, a little punch. That's absolutely, it's a great feel to have. A little punch cut. For me, it won't punch cut. That's very difficult to do. Again, obviously tried too hard. I just left it open a little bit there. Got the face, but didn't get the path quite. So again, if you're struggling to compress the golf ball, this will make it incredibly easy. So much easier, just like I did there. If you're bumping and then trying to turn, you got to stop doing that. You got to go down, squat down into that left leg is a good way to view it, or bumping down, start that downswing. These drills will teach you how to do it. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button for more golf instruction, just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too, to be notified every time I put out a video.